This odd little street named Keystone Place in Reno, Nevada should not exist. It runs diagonally to the other streets in the area, and I have a theory as to why this little street is here. And to help shed light on this mystery, I've been able to secure access to a more than 120-year-old, mostly abandoned building that I believe has a connection to this little street. So stay with us because we're going to be able to see something that the public never gets to see here on the Reno You Know. I used to live a couple of blocks from here, and sometimes when driving around or riding my bike, I would scratch my head and wonder why the city would lay down this little street at such a bizarre angle. When Western towns, or pretty much any town, is first laid out, streets and blocks are put down in a grid, unless there's some obstruction like a river or a hill or a railroad track. You can see on this Sanborn fire insurance map from 1890 that Reno, Nevada was laid out mostly in a grid. Fast forward 9 years to the 1899 map, and the town has grown a little, but our subject area has yet to be expanded into at that point. And then on the 1904 map, I think I've found out why that street is there. The people that made these decisions passed away 100 years ago or so, and I haven't been able to find any written record to explain this, but I think the 1904 map gives enough information to make an educated guess. Sometime between 1899 and 1904, in that 5-year period, Keystone Place shows up. Here it is running in a nonsensical direction as compared to the grid of all the other streets in the area. There were no instances of any obstructions there, like a water ditch or a railroad track that would have forced the town planners to lay down the street in this orientation. Curiously though, you can see on the 1904 map that the street is laid out exactly on the West City boundary line. That alone doesn't explain it though, since the line also runs through other blocks without other streets deviating from the street grid. My theory does involve water, however, and that's what led me here, to this nondescript building that I passed by countless times while living in this area, and I never really paid much attention to it. It sits here on Idlewild Drive on power company property, and the front of it is mostly obscured with ivy. Maybe I didn't pay much attention to it because I could barely see it. But get this, I did a classic double take when I looked at the 1904 Sanborn map and saw this building sitting on the south side of the Truckee River in 1904. Judging from a couple of old newspaper stories from 1902 referencing a hydroelectric powerhouse on the western edge of town, I believe it was constructed in 1902, and that makes this building 124 years old from the date of this filming. And I know for my viewers back east, a 124-year-old building isn't much to write home about, but for this area, this is one of the oldest surviving buildings in this city. I had no idea. The newspaper stories from 1902 suggest that this building was constructed by our local power company at the time, called the Nevada Power, Light, and Water Company. In 1904, a new entity was created called the Reno Power, Light, and Water Company, which took over the operations of the previous company. The president of that new power company was named Patrick Flanagan, and you might recognize that name if you saw our video on his life and his warehouse. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link to that one at the end of this video. I found a newspaper story that stated that the Flanagan warehouse and this building were being built at the same time, which helps to verify the age of this building. And I also was wondering, I wonder what it looks like inside. Would the power company let us in to take a look at this more than 120-year-old building? And the answer is yes. I reached out to a buddy of mine who recently retired from the power company and asked if he had any contacts left that would be able to facilitate us taking a look inside. He did that, and this is what we saw. All right, here we are at this old hydroelectric building, and I want to say a big thank you to NVEnergy for letting us take a peek inside here. So let's go take a look. So the fellows that let me in tell me that, of course, they use this for storage now, and it hasn't been an operating power facility for many, many years. And luckily, I brought my big light so we can see on camera here. So the old diagram of the building said a wood truss roof. I don't see any wood up there, so this is probably just that might be a replacement ironwork, and of course we don't know when that was done. And also in the diagram of the old building, there's a little addition on the front that had a water turbine, and you can see right there where that addition was, how it was filled in with, gosh, I guess cinder block at some point. And there was a turbine, and the water would run through and race out on a tail race back into the Truckee River. And boy, it's too bad the old rock work got painted over it at some point. That would look even better as the river rock that was, I'm sure, scavenged from right around here. This is a really rocky area because it's right next to the Truckee River. Man. And then right over here, I'm going to dig out my map so I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, against this wall were arc light transformers, and there were 3 of them. And if you look down here at the ground, there's a little raised platform. So I bet you that might be where the transformers set. And there's old piping or ductwork here, and some water connection hasn't been used in a minute. Oh, this is a pretty cool old sign on the door here. Danger, visitors not allowed through this door. And the guys say that that door used to lead out to the old switch yard that's on the other side. And that's a pretty tall door. It's hard to see, I'm sure, with the camera angle, but that's not a regular household door by any means. They probably had to move equipment through there at some point. All right, and the guys say these are old breakers from back in the day. This is north side. You think north side of town? What's north? That would be my guess. Yeah, north side. Yeah. Oh wow, north side. When's the last year you think these were used?
I would guess like the 50s.
Yeah. Wow.
Maybe early 60s.
It's pretty cool. I know next to nothing about power and electricity and such, but these sure look impressive. Nice.
I'm only guessing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look at that. And these are just gonna, a little pump on top? Yeah, wow. Well, this must be, is that water? Water involved? Looks like a bunch of piping there. No, well, maybe not.
There's oil, they're cooling fins for the oil that's in there.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Okay.
More places for the oil to go and air to get around it.
I got you. Wow. And these machines are just going to sit here and sit here like museum pieces. Wow. They're just all lined up like this. Very awesome. Wow, this is a supremely old gauge here. Wow, that would probably date to the original building. That big old light bulb right there. Nice. Yeah, and when they would have replaced the old wood roof with with metal at some point. You can see that brickwork on top of the stonework. Looks like they added maybe 2 feet or so, guessing, but maybe they had to do that to support the new type of roof that they were installing. All right, and through here is a kind of a bricked up opening. Old door. Now this is, I'm pretty confident this is where all the big machinery would go in and out of the building. I guess it's pretty substantial. But I guess all the large equipment in here is in here for good, because there's really not a door big enough to get some of this stuff out. And we got a cool old push button phone. Kids in the audience, this is how you used to make phone calls. And boy, nice. I wish I could find some old signatures on the walls. You'd think the guys working here in the 1920s got bored at some point and would have signed their name somewhere, but with all the paint that's covering the inside now, those are probably long gone, if they were here at all. Nice old ledgers here, labor saving trial balance. What are the dates in there?
Right there, January 1939.
1939, wow. Yeah, we are in an auxiliary building that's not as old as the old building that we just went through, but there's just old ledgers and records in here, and insulators. And we checked the dates on a couple of these. 1942, 1920.
36.
Here's 1924. See right there on the top?
Oh yeah.
Fixed capital general, January 1st, 1924.
Awesome.
Wow.
Here's some more cool shit
Yeah.
that came out of that.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
That came out of that.
Voltmeter.
I mean, this is that era.
Yeah, it is.
Right there. September 27, 1898.
What? That is awesome.
Right there.
Oh, look at that.
That's not 1998.
No,
That's
it ain't.
That's 1898.
Westinghouse Electric, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Wow. That's a museum piece right there. Way cool. A little dusty. Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Here we got newspaper clippings.
48.
From 48, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
A new contract will double power output in Reno area.
Nice.
This is all from the growth
Right?
of the original hydro as Reno grew.
Gotcha. Oh my gosh.
Drought in California, worst
Right.
in 70 years.
Oh man. Jeez. 1930.
Guy's little pocketbook.
Yeah. Oh,
1909.
1909. Look at that.
There we go.
Oh man. Jeez Louise. Yeah, that's like only 5 years after this building started operating or so. Look at that.
It might go back. Let's go back.
Yeah.
07.
1907.
Let's see if we get there.
Oh my gosh. 1906.
1906.
Oh my gosh. 07 again.
Yeah. What are these?
Carson City
Gas Company.
Cool. Wow. Well, here's a old clothes washing machine, yeah? Oh, look at that. The tumbler. Oh, geez. So why would this be in here? They use this to promote, I think you were saying earlier, they use this to promote the use of electricity, yeah?
Back in the day, it was electrically driven and to try to sell power.
Nice. And
The old hand crank ones to modern day appliance
there you go.
back in the early 1900s.
Then Yeah, back here's a
You know,
early electric stove oven situation. And again, yeah, they were probably using this to dissuade people from using wood and coal and such and go electric, right? That would,
yeah, exactly.
that would sell power. Here's some, wow, look at this collection of power company guys and gals from back in the day. I'm saying 1970s with the hairstyles, but I could be wrong. There's some super cool stuff in this building here. Wow, this is what, an old adding machine?
Yeah, I'm
Not exactly sure what that is. Wow. On the 1904 map, there is a mention of a 20-inch water line that sent water up from the powerhouse up to the company's reservoirs located in northwest Reno. And at that time, the city's west boundary line was a straight shot up from the powerhouse up to the reservoirs. So I'm going to speculate that the company laid down the water line right along the west city boundary line. And since it wouldn't do to have the line located under somebody's house in case there was a problem with the pipe, there was some kind of easement put in place. So I'm going to suggest that this little street was laid down right over the water pipe in case there was some kind of service issue. And that's what I think. If you have any further information, please leave a comment in the comment section of this video. And remember to subscribe to the channel and click the like button. And here is where I think the connections might have been made to send water up to the reservoirs. According to the 1904 diagram of the building, against this wall were two pumps, an Alberger 12-inch and an Alice Chalmers 10-inch single-stage centrifugal pumps, capacity 3,000 and the other 1,488 gallons. Behind these power outlets, you can see circular portals where the water would have left the building. And on the exterior of the building, we can see the other side of these portals. Another thing I learned while making this video is that the location of the old city reservoirs still hosts a reservoir today called the Highland Reservoir. This complex is located adjacent to Washington Street in northwest Reno, and this is another location that I had knowledge of its existence, but I had no idea of how really old it is. The reservoirs do not appear on the 1899 city map, but they do show up on the 1904 map, so their construction is contemporary with that of the powerhouse. There, of course, have been numerous improvements up here since 1904, and today this area is one large reservoir that has a cover over it. And that small, snowy, open area just above the reservoir was the location of a now filled-in smaller reservoir. All right, thanks for hanging out with me to the end of this video. I sure appreciate it, and I hope you learned something. I certainly did. I learned something new with almost every one of these videos. And today I'm finishing up at the Pub and Sub, located at 10th and Ralston here in Reno. The Pub and Sub has been around for a million years, it seems. They were opened in 1974, so they've been around for more than 50 years, and this is a crazy cool college hang next to the university. I myself went to the University of California, Riverside, and not University of Nevada, Reno, but had I gone to Nevada here, I probably would have made this one of my regular haunts. And if you'd like to see behind the scenes, please check out our Facebook page and follow us there. And if you'd like to get a hold of some merch like hats and t-shirts and mugs, there's a link to our merch shop in every video if you go to this channel, our YouTube channel online on your computer or your phone or your tablet. That is all I have for you today. Again, I appreciate you watching. And as Harold S. Smith, Sr. of Harold's Club always said, I'm with you. Cheers.